Hey guys, I'm Alexa with Strategic Placement Group. Welcome back to our SPG podcast. Joining us today is our social media guy, Zach. How are you doing today, Zach?
Doing great. How are you?
I am so good. I love that we matched today.
Oh, I know. We really
got the memo.
We didn't even plan it.
No, right? We just walked in and we're like, hey.
It was all in here.
That's
we just
right.
Knew. We have that connection.
We do, and it matches my hair.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
I like
looks
it.
Great. By
Well,
the way.
thanks.
Hey,
I had to. I needed some maintenance.
So what are we talking about
it.
today?
Today, we are going to talk about social media and kind of managing your security. You know, as you know, we've had some clients that we've had to help through some issues, and I thought it would be a good idea to tell that to the people at home as to how they can better manage security on their social media and what their options are. Because sometimes you might not have an option, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work? So let's just dive right into like if you're a business owner and you get a bad Google review, I mean, how does something like that work? Is that something that we can go in and take down, or they can take down? Is it just...
No, unfortunately, you can't take down Google reviews. So the only way to really get rid of a bad review is to have good reviews over so let's say you get 5 interactions with a bad review. That good one's going to have to outperform that bad one to push it down. And it still may be the third or second review on there. You just have to have good ones outperform the bad one. So you could have a review from 10 years ago that, got a lot of engagement. People were like, yeah, I agree with this, whatever. But you've had good reviews in the past, but if people aren't agreeing, they aren't commenting, they aren't liking it or whatever, then that bad review is going to stay up there. But also, when you can become like a local guide or whatever, you can be like approved through Google, and certain people are local guides. And so, let's say you're your local guide. That's what you're labeled on Google when you leave reviews. And if a local guide that is verified through Google and Google looks at better, if one of them will be like, hey, this is a great place, their review counts a little more than the average person. Okay. So if you're having someone like that do that, and not everybody can, it's a big process you have to go through, then that will push that review up more. So if as a business owner, I got a bad review, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be bad, but you don't want it to, you always want positive stuff to be spoken about your business. So essentially the only thing I can do really is call in the troops, call in friends, people, customers that have been satisfied, and ask them to please do a Google review. Do you think it's beneficial to even give, if we hit this many reviews? Some people will do trade-offs, for if you go in and do a Google review and show us a screenshot of it, we'll give you 10% off your next service or product. Or that definitely have an incentive. I mean, a lot of places do that to give you an incentive to go ahead and leave a review because they matter. Reviews matter 100%. If you had some sort of incentive to, whether you're selling a product or whatever you're offering, to be like, you get 10% off, or we'll give you free something if you leave a review, but with proof. So it's a fantastic idea to do, and a lot of people do it. I mean, at Lowe's or Five Below or anything, they'll be like, make sure at the bottom of your receipt at Five Below, I know they do it a lot. But they'll be like, hey, just make sure to go and leave us a review. Right. Because it's important. For when the company cares about it a lot, but also it makes them look good because they want people to come in. Right. You're not going to go to a place that's a 1-star restaurant or establishment.
People look at those stars. Well, so that's even something that people can do if they are just wanting to build reviews. They don't have to wait for a bad review to do that. That's just to have those incentives to get people to do Google reviews. Yeah. That's, anybody can start those, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gives you way more credibility. So, to start it as early as you possibly can. And anytime you have a client or a customer or whatever, give them some sort of incentive to leave a review. Because there's not a time that if I'm looking at a restaurant or something and they have a 2-star, I'm not going to go to it. Right. Because obviously it's bad. People have experienced bad things there. So it's really, really important.
Or not enough people are talking about it.
Exactly.
It might be a good business, but not enough people are talking about it to leave it in our minds. That real estate, we've talked about that before, that real estate in your mind of, what's going to keep people, keep you in people's mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people can think you have a good idea, whether it be your business or whatever it is. But there's a ton of people that won't give you the first chance. And they rely on seeing those other people talking about your business and whatnot. So yeah, if you, like we mentioned before, give them incentive to really make them leave a review, because it works out for you perfectly.
Awesome. Well, let's switch over to social media. So does social media work the same way?
No.
With reviews?
No. So Facebook, you have the option to remove a review entirely.
Okay.
If you're an admin, and you have to be an admin of that page specifically, which is good, but can also be bad. I mean, you don't want to constantly be taking out all these negative things just because either they hurt your feelings or whatever.
Right.
You want to have a mix in there, because to me, if I'm looking at something and it's just all good reviews, I feel like that's a little too good to be true. I mean, although the business may be great, but sometimes, I mean, more times than not, you're going to experience something bad eventually at a business. So
Right.
I want to see I want to see what's happened in the past. I want to get a knowledge of how this business really is,
Right.
not just seeing everything 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, nothing is perfect. I mean, you're not going...
Well, and it also gives your clientele a way to see your customer service, how you handled it. I mean, maybe this person did not have a good experience, and if they're voicing that on your social media, it gives you the opportunity to say, all right, what is it we can, we understand you had a bad experience. Let us do this for you. Let us give you a discount. Let us, to kind of make good on that service. And then if that person is just still becoming like a troll essentially and just still knocking it, and I think people can see that kind of stuff.
They definitely can. But if you with those people that are going to constantly bash you or whatever, you can't really get away from that. It's unfortunate, but you can't really fully get away from it. It's sad, but it's very true.
Right.
But with the bad ones, it's good for you to interact with it. I mean, because that shows that you are being responsible as the business owner, but also offering a solution, like you just said, either, something that may be an incentive again.
Right.
So yeah, it just really depends how you want to handle that. You can remove it, but I mean, if it's not horrible and they're not out, using a ton of profanity or whatever, then, I mean, I would just respond to it and just try to fix the problem the best you can, because that shows that you, the business owner, are willing to take time out of your day to handle these people's problems.
Well, and then in the same respect, so you can kind of think of it in steps, right? So you can take that criticism and then you can react to it in a way that you feel like is fitting to your business. And then you did mention filters. So if it does get to the extreme where this customer is just not satisfied, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, or you're just to the point where you're like, I don't know that we can help you.
Right.
So there's filters that you can combat with those, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you had a person that is like that, you'd block them, obviously. If they make new accounts, whatever, which if, they go through all that trouble, it's kind of sad. But, you can do that. That's the first step. You just block them. And then you can actually enable language filters, and then you can go and manually enter in whatever words you do not want to be popped up when you're commented on, reviews, tagged, whatever it may be. Facebook will automatically flag that, and it will be discarded right away. It's kind of a pain to set up because you have to go in and do everything by yourself.
Right.
So that is the only downside to that. But once you get it set up, it's there forever, and you can remove or add at any time you want. And then you can also, Instagram has this feature. I don't know if Facebook has it yet, but if someone is doing that, like if an individual that's doing stuff like that to you, you can block them, and then you can choose to automatically block any dummy accounts they create. So you don't have to keep on going through and blocking. Instagram recognizes that this person is creating this new account, and that may come from I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's from your IP address or it's from your phone. There's something personal about your phone,
right?
Because your phone has a ton of individual based numbers that you can pull. So it may be like that, but that's another thing with Instagram. You can block someone and choose to block dummy accounts that they have, which is really, really helpful for businesses, because if you get people like that, then you don't have to spend all day just blocking these dumb accounts.
Right.
And they just...
because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's sad that you would have to get to the point where you can't even run your business because you're busy trying to block somebody that for whatever reason is trying to
That is, it's like
desecrate you on social media.
Yeah, and that's
Get a job.
That's their entertainment. You know? I don't know why. It makes no sense. Some people just feel the need to go and do that all the time. It's unfortunate, but I mean, you can never really fully get away from it.
So do you feel it's beneficial for business owners to, when they set up their social media, to go ahead and set up all those perimeters and really lock down? Like if you had somebody that is like an artist or a, somebody that just wants to constantly display their work. So is it beneficial for them to go in and set all these strict parameters so nobody can really comment anything, but they can just constantly have a showcase of their work? Because if you do that, you don't get any engagement, right?
Well, I mean, not with comments, with like you can like or love or whatever you want to do, like to react to that post. You can even share it, but you can turn off sharing, you can turn off commenting, you can set a bunch of these filters. And no, to answer your question, no, because you can still interact.
Okay.
But it will just, if someone uses some profanity in that comment or whatever, it's just going to take that comment away.
Okay.
So you really have to decide obviously no business owner wants a bunch of profanity on their business page. I mean, it doesn't look good. So you just really have to decide what you're willing to have said on your page. But yeah, most definitely it's very beneficial to set that up, because that you will run into a lot of less problems. Especially if you're dealing with the public a lot. I mean, you will run into a lot, like if you're a tattoo shop or a car dealership or whatever, you set that up, you'll be okay. Because it's a one-time setup and you can always add or remove to it.
Right. I mean, a tattoo shop is like a perfect example of what I was just talking about, because you want to constantly be able to get your artwork out there and show people the up and coming stuff and what's going on. But, sometimes what one person considers art, somebody else might not, or they might not, maybe they're not into tattoos and they're just like, why would you even want to do that? Or I don't understand why you would put that there. Or, that it does open up for people's opinions.
Right, because it can be a controversial topic amongst the people. For a tattoo shop, that's a perfect example to really put that in when you first make your Facebook page, because it'd probably only take you an hour to 2 hours, depending on how much you had. But then you can also set up, like, people can't message you, people can't tag you. You can really go in depth to a lot of this.
Really?
Yeah, so where you just have it to where these people are going to like or heart or whatever you want to do to that post or share it. Like, you can have it set up to strictly that, which is good, but also bad because you want that interaction. I mean, if you're not having a lot of interaction, the algorithm isn't going to recognize you, and then they're not going to push you. Right.
That was my next question. So will it keep you from showing up on the top of the feed?
Yeah.
So that's kind of pros and cons.
Yeah, big pros and cons. Big. I mean, if the people... So last time I was on here, we talked about like and follows. So a like is better than a follow. A follow, you're going to see it a little less. A like, you're going to see it a lot more on your feed. So if people like it, like your page, they're going to see it. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, no matter what the algorithm does, they're most likely 90% of the time going to see it. Okay. People that follow you, that is cut like drastically down. And for the people that haven't discovered you yet, I mean, you're going to, I would say maybe you have like a 25% chance of being seen by someone that hasn't seen you. Maybe. Okay. It just depends. And that's just throwing numbers out there. But it cuts it down a lot, because commenting is always better than liking. It shows better interaction. Sharing and commenting are like on the same boat. Liking is pretty good. It's really, really good. But commenting and sharing is significantly better than any of those.
So if I'm wanting to follow a business, I'm better off to go in and like their stuff, and then I'll start seeing it more in my feed?
Yeah, it kind of works the same way as Instagram, just a little different. Like on Facebook, I mean, you kind of have like an explore page on Facebook, but like Instagram has that explore page. And so if you are liking a bunch of stuff about baking or sports, whatever, you go to your explore page, and Instagram recognizes that, hey, this is what this person's interested in, so I'm going to show them a lot of things that relate to that. So Facebook kind of works the same way. Okay. So yes, Instagram's a little better. For some reason it picks it up better in my mind, but also I view it differently because I'm a lot younger, and to me Instagram is
got to bring up the age every time we talk about this.
I know. I am getting older though. I just turned 22.
You're young. I got it. Okay. Well, what about, so speaking of that younger generation though, so does TikTok work similar when it comes to security, or is there less stuff that you can do there?
TikTok's fairly new to me as far as like the security side. I like it for my own personal use. But as
Because you're so young.
right, yeah, because I'm so young. But I like it. I use it a lot in my personal time. I do this for my job, so I don't really get on social media a lot. But TikTok is what I do get on quite often. But as far as running it from a business standpoint and security and putting all those measures, I'm not very in tune with all the security within TikTok yet.
Okay.
I know about the algorithm a lot.
Okay.
But the security part, I don't know if you have profanity filters and stuff like that. I know you can block people, but I'm not really sure if they have that same stuff. I would have to look into that.
Right. Well, it just sounds to me like an excuse to bring you back.
Yeah, no, it's a great time to bring it back because TikTok is getting really popular.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to ask about. So we really do need to start looking into this so we can tell our viewers how they can better advertise.
Oh, yeah.
Because businesses are doing it.
No, they are
utilizing
everywhere.
TikTok a lot.
And that's like, I think a lot of like every business, not every business obviously, but a lot of businesses should really get into it because it's huge. But also the algorithm is very easy. Like easy, I say easy, but easier.
Okay.
But it's also easier for you, like the person that doesn't know a lot about social media. For the average person, it's easier for them to understand how to like get around the algorithm.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
Gotcha.
Because Facebook and Instagram, especially the Instagram, making a ton of changes within the past, heck, even like 3 years. And then Facebook, they're a little more difficult to understand. TikTok is pretty simple, and so I think every business should get involved in some way because it is blowing up like crazy. But then I know, like I said, our topic of security, you can block people, and that's about the only thing to the extent that I really know that you could do.
Well, it's also a faster moving platform.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that the likelihood of seeing any trolls or, those people that like to go in and just throw out negativity is a little less.
Well, actually, it's going to be a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, because it's video. So you're having a lot more that you can see visually. So a lot more you can pick on. A ton. A picture, you're just seeing a snapshot of a still thing that's happening. With the video, you're having a lot of things moving. Where the person can look one way or the other, up, down, left. It doesn't matter. You're gonna have people pick apart what they don't like, or if they see something in the background because the angle's changing.
Right.
So it's actually a little more toxic, because it's a video. It's way more interactive.
I actually got one the other day from a friend of this one guy. It was like split screen. So people are even taking other people's videos, and their video is them criticizing somebody else's video. This one guy is like, I just don't understand what this lady's doing. What does she have against the product design of the Tide bottle? Because she was taking all of her detergents and everything and dumping them into different things. And he was just, I don't think he was being mean,
right?
But he was just like, I think he was trying to make it kind of funny. Kind of comic, but.
Well, and that's, sorry, that actually brought up a great point that made me think of all of it. But you can turn off commenting, and what you're mentioning is called stitching or duetting. So people can duet or stitch your video. And that's how they can have like one video and then they can be over there. You can turn that off. So you can only have likes on there. And as like when it goes to Facebook and Instagram, commenting is a lot better on those platforms. On TikTok, it seems that commenting has a great impact. It really does. Okay. But you have the same like share feature you do on Facebook. So shares matter a whole lot. And then likes and then views. Because you can have, you're viewing a video, so you can have a ton of views, especially where it's so short. You can have a million different views, and then your likes matter a lot. So it's kind of, I feel like it's all in the same spectrum of how good everything is. So if you turn off commenting, it's not necessarily going to like negatively impact you in a horrible way. Okay. So yeah, TikTok's a great platform, especially to people get into. The only thing you'd have to worry about is you have to be comfortable on camera. Yeah. Because it's all video based. Yeah. Video based. Well, okay, so to wrap this up, so when it comes to our Google reviews, the best thing is to call in the troops and try to kind of essentially bury with positivity. Yeah. And continue to
get that good positive reaction from your clients. Social media, it's okay to take it in steps where you're, if you have something negative, you can combat it yourself with some positivity and how can we better serve you on this. And then if you have to, then you can go back to those filters and set things up so it doesn't come through.
Yeah.
And then TikTok, we're going to learn more about.
Yeah.
And just figure out, so you can block people on TikTok.
Turn off commenting.
And turn off commenting.
Turn
and
off
not let
duetting.
people stitch your videos. That's a weird concept to me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's just sounds weird. I mean, I know totally what you're talking about, but it's just like, why would anybody be able to take my video and stitch it with theirs?
You can create a lot of good content. So a lot of people do that. I mean, you have some people out there that their profile's based on just doing that all the time. So,
really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like it's like reaction channels on YouTube.
Okay.
It's pretty much exactly what that is on TikTok, just in a shorter format. So you get more views because it's shorter. And yeah, it's really, there's a lot to it. It's great.
Sounds like it. It sounds like, well, I don't know that my brain could take much more of this. So we're going to wrap this up. But if you think you might be interested in some help with social media, we've got our man Zach here, and he would be more than happy to help you. So we invite you to come down and see us or give us a call. Look us up on our Facebook, Instagram. We have a website. And like we always say, guys, until next time.
See ya.